Dr. Anthony Fauci testifies before the House Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemic. And these dumbasses were like, how much money have you made? And he was like, I haven't made any money from the royalties. And I think he made $700 or something total.
I think many of us in the committee are really disturbed by revelations to this committee that there were officials at NIH that deleted government records, they deleted personal, or they used personal information, personal emails to communicate. I just want to clarify for the record, because today you testified that you did not suppress the lab leak theory, yet in the past you have said, quote, it is a distortion of reality, unquote. You've said, quote, I've heard these conspiracy theories, and like all conspiracy theories, they're just conspiracy theories. That's what you told the American people.
Yeah, you want to know why? Because the only people at the time that was saying the lab leak theory is 100% correct was not the scientists. It was actually the American State Department. A fun fact that many liberals who now also are like, no, it's definitely the lab leak theory, which I'm not ruling out. It is still a theory, just like zoonotic spread is a theory. You have to weigh these theories with as much evidence as is physically available. There is no scientific consensus. At the time, the scientific consensus was leaning on zoonotic spread, which I believe still, unless something is like genuinely shifted. Ryan Grimm was a lab leak theory for a bit. Yeah, we still have no fucking actual evidence in either direction.
So would you like to clarify what science were you following then versus now?
Yeah, no, I've also been very, very clear and said multiple times that I don't think the concept of there being a lab leak is inherently a conspiracy theory. What is conspiracy is the kind of distortions of that particular subject, like it was a lab leak and I was parachuted into the CIA like Jason Bourne and told the CIA that they should really not be talking about a lab leak.
Thank you.
That's the conspiracy.
Appreciate that. Dr. Fauci, how much have you earned from royalties from pharmaceutical companies since the pandemic began in 2021?
Zero.
It says NIH scientists made $710 million in royalties from drug makers.
So that's the article that she printed out, okay? Look at this fucking dumb fuck, okay? Hold on. A fact they tried to hide. Almost all of that went to the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, the sub-agency led by Antonio Fauci, except it turns out he got no money from it directly in his fucking, like, he didn't make any of the money. They're making it seem like he was the one who was just like fucking raking it in. Is she implying he made $700 million off the vaccine? Yes, that's what she's implying. The reality of the matter is, yeah, they're funding the fucking vaccinations. It goes back into grants as far as I know. Like, yeah, that's just how the government works. You know what I mean? They give money that Donald Trump also gave to corporations, Operation Warp Speed, if you will. And then that money goes back to the government to make more gay vaccines. And by that, I don't mean vaccines to stop you from catching the gay. I mean vaccines that make you gay and autistic.
On COVID, I received, I think, $122 for a monoclonal antibody that I made 27 years ago.
Okay, so just in general, though, how much have you received?
Yo, that's kickback, son. There you go. This guy, it wasn't $0. It was $112, baby. We got him. Fucking got him, dude. Fuck this guy. That's it. Throw the book at him.
Not related to COVID, just in general, how much have you received in royalties between 2021 and 2023?
I think none.
Okay, so somebody received the $710 million.
Somebody did, but not me.
You didn't receive any royalties. Okay.
I'm honestly surprised you like Fauci is a good guy. What? I think it's ridiculous. I understand that epidemiologists and people in healthcare, in public health, are in a really fucking unique predicament, especially when there's a novel disease that is literally melting the old. In that circumstance, you have to play a fucking tightrope. That tightrope is, how cautious can we be to ensure the maximum amount of fucking people? What can we communicate? Did they go far out in their caution? Absolutely, of course. But that's completely fucking, that is one of the few unique instances where the government does have your back for obvious reasons, because they don't want you to fucking die. Like, what do you mean? Their job is to literally communicate dense scientific literature to the public in a way that is like understandable and set precautions so that people don't fucking die, because unfortunately, we're stupid as shit. It's the same exact principle behind seatbelt laws.
Well, anyway, moving on, I just want to say that, we know billions of dollars have been funding these animal experiments, both here domestically and in foreign lands. I'm very troubled by the cruel, horrific animal research that has been done on U.S. land and in foreign laboratories. Taxpayers are footing the bill for billions of dollars.
She's trying to hit the white woman angle too. She's like, yo, think about the puppies. What was it? They killed beagles or something? What the fuck was it?
These beagle puppies that have their their throats slit. They're being injected with ticks. They are murdered after just a few months.
Bro, I think it's literally more just to engage in animal testing for life-saving medication for humans than it is to eat them for personal consumption. And I don't even have an issue with eating them. So I'm sorry. Animal testing when it comes to like makeup, ridiculous. Animal testing when it comes to like actual life-saving medication, are you fucking kidding me? Like, yeah, no shit, dude. I think we should do that, actually. You know who else we test medication on? Life-saving medication? Humans. Like, what are we doing? What the fuck? I don't know if you know this process, but it's for the betterment of society as a whole. So that dumb fucks like you who are too stupid and that natural selection would completely fucking remove you from this planet under every other goddamn circumstance is actually going to work against your better judgments. Then skip the animals. You are out of your fucking mind. The reason why we tested on animals first before we tested on humans is so that we're just not melting humans. The difference is consent. The animals can't consent to being melted. Yeah, I don't give a shit. They're fucking animals, dude. What are we talking about? Vegans, shut the fuck up, okay? Trust the process. You are being speciesist and history will not look back fondly at you. It's all right. Everyone should be allowed to have one bad take. If history looks back at me and says I'm a monster, then so be it.
Congressman, with all due respect, I'm not trying to be confrontative. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but the experiments that the NIH funded go through strict regulatory processes of the treatment of animals, the humane treatment of animals.
Well, they're not very humane, and I will say, as the former director...
Bro, what are you talking about? You're a Republican in American Congress? Like, get the fuck out of here. What do you mean? They're not very humane. Like, what is your party literally fucking melts the poor in its advocacy and women that want to fucking get a medical process like an abortion. Shut the fuck up. It's so, what a ridiculous sham trial. But I guess vegans would agree with that because like human beings are consenting or something. I don't fucking know. They're doing COVID conspiracy theories this morning by somehow pinning the pandemic on Fauci, the one guy in Trump's orbit who was sane and rational throughout the ordeal. They don't want to have a reality-based conversation about who really botched things and who guided us out of the worst of it. You were the director of the NIH for more than 3 decades. It's not an accident that like the COVID vaccines were a scientific marvel, an international scientific community collaborative effort, and brought about in phenomenal time. And the mRNA vaccine research is also most likely going to yield incredibly positive results for severe life-altering, life-ending diseases. It is, of course, because of that reason that every dumb fuck is chirping against it because they're stupid. I don't know what else to say about it other than the fact that you are just afraid of things you don't understand, like a goddamn caveman, like an ape. And I can't believe that I had this argument over and over again for like years, and now we're back in the pocket of like 2021. It's mind-boggling to me that this is what's happening. It's crazy. We're desperately trying to kill ourselves, I think. That's what's going on. This is the irony that so many of these people would be too dumb to survive if modern medicine didn't exist. And now all of those people are becoming the majority. I'm not being a eugenicist, I promise. I'm joking, but also kind of not joking in the sense that like the very same people that are surviving due to modern medicine are turning into like this very loud majority of people that are like, actually modern medicine is bad. Fauci's group by GOP Representative Michael Cloud about if he still supports COVID public health measures. These were important when we were trying to stop the tsunami of deaths. Dude, this shit is crazy, man. It's crazy. What the fuck? I know it's like really fashionable to shit on Fauci, ouchie, and stuff like that now, I think. I don't know. Because the holdouts, the ones that like still care about this are the most manic people of all time. So they kind of dominate the conversation amongst themselves about how bad of a guy he is or whatever.
Me a yes or no as to whether you believe these measures were justified. Business closures?
Early on when 5,000 people were dying a day, yes.
Church closures?
Same thing.
School closures,
Again,
stay-at-home orders.
these were important when we were trying to stop the tsunami of deaths that were occurring early on. How
Early
long
on.
you kept them going is debatable.
Mask mandates for adults, mask mandates for children, mask mandates for children under 5.
Going back to what I said before, all of that is in the context of, at the time, 4 to
Mask mandates for children
5,000.
under
I love that, like, we have completely fucking dropped preparedness for a novel virus that removed 1.2 million people from the US total population. What the fuck are we talking about? It is literally part of the reason why Donald Trump did not get reelected. A major part of the reason, because people were like, holy shit, we are getting fucking ruthlessly slaughtered by an invisible enemy. And half of the population at the time was like, I'm on the fucking war. I'm joining the coronavirus war on the side of COVID. All you needed to know at the time, with how silly these arguments were, was that first, COVID was fake, and then we mustn't get vaccinated against this fake COVID. But also simultaneously, we should be going around, and that it was a bioweapon created by the Chinese that was developed to kill Americans. But also, it's not fake, and it's real, and that's why we need ivermectin. It doesn't even stand up to an ounce of scrutiny. Like, the logic that they were trying to cultivate was, like, faulty. It's just a couple questions would, like, destroy the argument in and of itself. It's both fake and also a Chinese bioweapon that was built in a lab that we paid for, okay, to kill American whites, the God-fearing patriots. But it also is, you shouldn't vaccinate against it, but you should also use another medication, ivermectin, even though it's fake and gay. Like, it's inherently contradictory principles that you were deploying in this argument. Didn't some Republicans say that Jewish and Asian people are inherently immune or something? No, it wasn't a Republican congressperson. It was RFK Jr. You're thinking of RFK Jr., who once famously said, COVID was a bioweapon developed by Ashkenazi Jews and the Chinese to kill white people. That was not a Republican congressperson. That was RFK Jr. He did say that. The arguments against the lockdowns or the preventative measures before we fully grasped how this thing was like spreading and like what it was doing to people was definitely heavy-handed, but perfectly understandable. Even then, nobody in the red states listened to it anyway and suffered the consequences of it. And beyond that, when we get to the vaccine part of the conversation, that's when you really lose me, where I'm just like, bro, you are fucking insane. Like, this deleted 1 million Americans, man. What the fuck are we talking about? 1 million Americans just deleted, gone, dead.
Mr. Fauci, you were quoted on CBS Face the Nation saying it's easy to criticize, but they're really criticizing science because I represent science. Do you represent science, Mr. Fauci?
I am a scientist who uses the scientific method to gain information.
Yes, you said you represent science.
This big of an intelligence gap between two individuals having a conversation, again, another fucking achievement for modern medicine. And in the case of Marjorie Taylor Greene, maybe an L for modern medicine. You know what I mean? Like, maybe we shouldn't be saving everybody. Hearing Republicans talk about this sort of shit over and over again kind of makes me question, perhaps it's better to just let society collapse a little bit, you know? The natural yearn for the natural selection.
But this, as director of the NIH, you did sign off on these so-called scientific experiments. And as a dog lover, I want to tell you this is disgusting and evil, what you signed off on. And these experiments.
Bro, conservatives do this shit all the time. Whatever they choose to vilify, they look at like the route tasks that go into whatever they decide is like supposed to be vilified as like scary. And it is ridiculous. They do this for, you know, any kind of medicine, right? They do this for abortion. They're like, yeah, you go in and you scoop the baby, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you could explain open heart surgery in such a way that is absolutely terrifying to the average American. That doesn't change the reality that it is a incredible medical achievement and necessary for survival. It's so fucking stupid. Yeah, they do this with gender affirming care. They do this with abortions. They do this with everything that they decide is like scary and bad. when in fact you could literally describe in horrifying detail the process in which you do an open heart surgery. They literally break your rib cage after sawing your chest open. They pry back your rib cage after cracking it open in order to get to your fucking heart. How do you think surgery works? That's how surgery works. And we are basically one step removed from advocating against open heart surgery because of how fucking unscienced these dipshits are.
Paid for by the American taxpayer. And I want you to know Americans don't pay their taxes for animals to be tortured like this.
Yeah, Americans pay their taxes for Palestinians to be murdered. I want you to understand, sir, I pay my taxes so we can kill Palestinian babies. That's why I'm paying my taxes. I know about you. Why couldn't we put Palestinian children in the Beagle murder contraption instead? Did we run out of Palestinian babies to kill? No.
The type of science that you are representing, Mr. Fauci, is abhorrent, and it needs to stop. Mr. Fauci, you also represent the type of science that where you confess that you made up the COVID rules, including
I didn't hear what you
6
said.
feet social distancing and masking of children.
I never said I made anything up.
You admitted that you made it up. You
I
made it
didn't
up as
say
you went.
I made it up.
So are you saying this is fake news, Mr. Fauci?
I didn't say I made anything up.
I mean, it's Daily Mail, so yes. Yeah, of course it's fake news. It's fucking Daily Mail, dumbass.
I said that it is not based in science and it just appeared.
But this is science.
What does dogs have to do with anything that we're talking about today?
These are scientific experiments. This is what you signed off on. But you also told the American people they had to distance by 6 feet. They had to wear masks. And making up guidelines like 6 feet distancing and masking of children. Do you think that's appropriate? Do the American people deserve to be abused like that, Mr. Fauci? Because you're not doctor. You're Mr. Fauci in my few minutes.
Oh my God, I hate her so much. Dude, Americans have drank too much of the dumb bitch juice. We're out here sipping on that dumb bitch juice. We are all we're a nation of dumb bitches. The fucking demagoguery here is actually incredible. Republicans are just the dumbest, most cynical pieces of shit ever. She's like, yeah, you are no longer a doctor, sir. You're Mister until my time is over. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. I mean, dogs shouldn't be put in tests like that. Can we agree? No, dumbass. Shut the fuck up. Vegans can't stop themselves from chirping. I'm not going to fucking sit. First of all, God damn it. It is so easy for even the dumbest cretin like Marjorie Taylor Greene to like capture the attention of people like this. Okay. You have been duped. You are now saying, let's hand it to Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's cynically talking about these dogs. She doesn't give a fuck about any dogs. She doesn't even give a fuck about humans. What the fuck are we talking about? She's a Titan. She eats them. Okay. That's number one. Number two, you are stupid as fuck for literally going, yeah, actually, we should literally just stop. You know what? I don't think this Anthony Fauci guy is a good guy. Like, why? Even if your position as animal testing for medical purposes is bad, this is not the time to chirp about it, which I don't even have an issue with regardless. I think ultimately, animal testing, no matter how cruel it looks, for medicine is infinitely more valid, okay, before human testing starts especially, is infinitely more valid than just eating them. And I don't even have a problem with eating them. And neither does this the fucking dipshit. So shut up. Animal testing isn't even a good indicator of human compatibility of medicine. That's not even fucking true. I can't speak for beagles, but like rats has a relatively similar immune system structure. So that's why they do it. Why do you think they do it? Why do you think they do it? Why? Why do they do it? You think it's because they want to fucking torture and murder beagles? Is that why? Like what other purpose would the scientific community have? Because they just feel like it? Like what's happening here?
Mr. Chairman,
Point of order.
just in terms of the rules of decorum, are we allowed to deny that a doctor is a doctor just because we don't want him to be a doctor?
Yes, because in my time, that man does not deserve to have a license. As a matter of fact, it should be revoked, and he belongs in
Gentlelady
prison.
would suspend. And the gentlelady should recognize the doctor as a doctor.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, is this what we have become? Is this what we have devolved into? No decorum.
You know what? We can do that hearing about the poor men that were injected with syphilis because I support you in that. That's horrific.
Wait. I support you, as in we should be injecting more black men with syphilis just to see what it does. We used to be a nation of values. We used to be a country, a proper country, where we could conduct illegal, unethical experimentation on black Americans, like the Tuskegee Airmen. We should go back to that instead of the Beagles.
Of your science
What
into
is this?
plastic bubbles because of your science. Your repulsive, evil science.
God, we're so dumb.
Own email. You said earlier you don't use email. Oh, you do. Right here. This is your own email where you said the typical mask you buy in the drugstore is not really effective in keeping out virus. I do not recommend that you wear a mask. This is your email. This is your own words. But yet children all over America were forced to wear masks. Healthy children forced to wear masks, muzzled in their schools. And then they were forced to learn from home because of your so-called
Muzzled.
science and your medical suggestions, while you and all your cronies get paid from Big Pharma. You know that what this committee should be doing? We should be recommending you to be prosecuted. We should be writing a criminal referral because you should be prosecuted for crimes against humanity. You belong in prison, Dr. Fauci.
Mr. Chairman, I have another point.
Preach, sis. Speak on it, Queen. I'm on her side again.